I think the first time I met him was at an autocross.
I think the first time I ever met him, pretty sure it was at a meet.
Probably one of the racing events was most likely an autocross or a chump car race.
Autocross. He was an announcer.
First time I met Eladio was when I went to get the clutch done.
I met him at autocross.
His uncle's shop.
I met Eladio 2009.
I believe it was through a mutual friend of ours.
An autocross.
Definitely it was at the autocross.
A car meet.
First time I met Eladio's mom was when I went to the H1 performance, I think the first time.
And she just approached me and she gave me that look. She goes, "So you're Erin, you're Thomas's girl." And she gave me like the biggest hug ever. First time I met her, sweetest lady ever. Loved her like from that point on.
She's sitting there at the counter and, "Oh yeah, you're here for Eladio," and treated me like I was basically a daughter to her. And
Lydia's been very friendly. You know, she's a sweetheart. That's all I can say. She's a sweetheart, very nice. And those two, I see where Eladio gets it from. I see Eladio gets it from his mom.
He was awesome. Sweetest lady ever.
She deals with me. She hasn't shot me. She calls me her son, tries to make Eladio jealous. It's pretty funny. But she's a sweetheart of a woman. Anybody that deals with our attitudes and our unfair time frames, and you would think she would come out with a baseball bat when we pulled up, which I would. Instead, she hugs you.
Very nice. She was very funny when I made my appointment because she asked me who referred me, and I said that I had heard that he was the best guy in Vegas on the Evo page, and she was like, "Who told you that lie?" So,
last time I was home was in November for SEMA, and the first thing you asked me as you patted me on my belly was, "Is Candace pregnant, or are you, Josh?" I love you, Mom.
Mom's always very nice to everybody, so it's always nice to go there, honestly.
Mom is just so full of love and she's always so welcoming, and I'm always like, where is she? She's not there. So just she's everybody's mom, I feel like, and we all love her very much, and I'll miss seeing her when I go in there.
Just because she's such a pleasant person. She's always fun to go in and just chat with, and she's always so nice.
She's like a mom. I mean, I call her and just talk. It's as far as the shop goes, she kind of runs everything, you know.
Over time, you know, we kind of build a friendship, and then she'll call me once a week, or I will call her once a week. You know, I'll call her just to check how she's feeling, how she's doing. She'll call me every time after an autocross to find out how I did.
Oh my gosh, like she's just awesome. Like we can just talk about anything. She asked me how my day's going, and then we're talking about books and retiring and cars and everything. So it's really, I love calling, even making an appointment with her over the phone.
I walk in and she doesn't see the dog with me. And I say, "Hey, you want to talk to my little friend?" And she's like, "No, no, 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 no." And then I walk around the corner with the dog. She's like, "Oh my God." Oh, she just fell in love with him.
She's awesome. She's a nice, Eladio's mom's awesome. She's a nice, welcoming, warm face when you come into the office, and she welcomes you with open arms. Just super, super sweet lady.
So whenever I walked through the door, I was automatically a troublemaker. And so she would say, "Get this troublemaker out of here. Like, I don't want to see you." But then she's like trying to give me a hug while she's saying it. So it's cute.
The thing I love most about Mom is that I'm her favorite son.
The thing I appreciate most about Eladio is his willingness to give, whether it be give his time, give his knowledge.
I really appreciate how much care he puts into our cars. He will do anything in his power to get it done and get it done right.
The thing I appreciate most about Eladio is his attention to detail.
His quality.
The answers to my text messages at like 10:30, 11 o'clock at night, knowing damn well that me and him have the same conversation about, "Can't believe these assholes are texting me at this time." And I'll still do it.
His personality, the guy's awesome. You know, he's a super trustworthy individual, and you know, I just really respect his knowledge base.
Most I think I appreciate is his integrity and his honesty.
He is very much a perfectionist, so every car that comes into the shop, he wants to make sure it's in tip-top shape before he sends it out.
I just appreciate his personality. Overall, he's a very caring person. He really does care about your personal well-being, plus doing his job for you in the sense of
making sure that he provides you with an efficient vehicle and a safe vehicle.
Best quality of a mechanic is how OCD is, how neat, organized the shop is, how meticulous he is, and how he works on the cars. There's no doubt in my mind that the confidence I had in our Trump car races, going 120 miles an hour in the dark, and that old shitty Mazda of ours, the entire time, I'm surprised we didn't catch it on microphone when I was going, Eladio, check the car, it's okay. Eladio, check the car, it's okay.
He does it right the first time.
He will not rush a job just to get it out of the door.
He's just very attention to detailed.
2 o'clock in the morning. Oh geez, we needed a line, please, we're going to the track in 3 hours. And instead of what he should be doing, what most people would do is give me the finger and hang up, he says, all right, I'll meet you at the shop in an hour. Amazing, you couldn't ask for anyone better.
But if something, sometimes takes longer, he will stay pretty much all night, and he has done it before, for myself included, where he will make sure that he gets done and he gets done right.
You know that if he did it, he's touched every bolt personally and knows where everything's at. I mean, the guy's on top of it.
I really appreciate the way he treats the girls in the pits and stuff like that. He's not a shop that takes in 100 cars and just tries to knock them out in one day. He knows what his limitations are, and so you know your car is always going to be very well taken care of because it's one of the few things on his plate, and he's going to make sure everything's right. Also, him being like family, you know he wants to do it right because last thing he wants is you to get hurt when you're out on the racetrack and have some kind of failure and have a disappointing day.
That's what I like about Eladio. It's really hard to find a good, decent, honest mechanic, and he's not the only one I know in Las Vegas.
Eladio is just always there for you. He's always, like, I text him at wee hours in the morning and he's always there to help me out.
You know, he's a very big idol of mine, and I'm sure a lot of us. But
I can't even see him as a mechanic anymore, just more as a friend.
He's very caring, and he makes people smile all the time. He's just fun to be around.
I'd say his overwhelming defining attribute is honesty.
Actually take me to my car, put tools in my hand, and let me work on it and figure it out. And that's extremely I appreciate that. I've always had a fascination for cars and just never had an opportunity growing up to learn about them as much as I'd like. And so him actually saying, no, you're doing this, here's the tools, I'm gonna stand here if you have any questions, but it's all on you. And that was the first time that's ever happened to me, and it was really awesome.
Is that he's a true friend.
He has a caring heart, and he has that aspect of him that wants to teach all the time. So it kind of rolls into when either someone that's not so much of a car nut or doesn't know mechanically everything that we do, he tries to put his knowledge onto the next person, not forcefully or anything like that, but just allows them to be part of the group or track family.
Since H1's closing, that's a tough thing. I might have to do some of my own work.
I honestly have no idea. I'll probably still be texting Eladio and saying, who do I need to go to help out with this?
I have no idea.
I don't know. I don't think you can replace that Panamanian. I don't know what we're gonna do. I will stalk him and his mom and find out where they're at and still bring my car there whether they like it or not.
I honestly have no idea.
I have no idea. Eladio, why are you leaving us?
I'm getting a new car. I'm getting me a Lexus now. Thanks, Eladio. Now I have another bill. No, I'm just kidding.
I honestly don't know.
I have no idea. I am completely lost.
I'm in denial. I'm trying not to think about that, but I need to figure out something quick. Very few places in the world will accommodate us the way Eladio has, and we're beyond spoiled that way.
Some of the things I'll miss most about H1 is particularly having Eladio there as somebody that, you know, no matter what goes wrong and how screwed up the situation is, I know I could always call him and say, hey, I need your help. And that's one of the best things about Eladio. He's just a good soul. He doesn't want to see any of his friends struggling, doesn't want to see any of his customers in trouble. And at the last minute, if something's going wrong, he's always the person that you could always text and say, hey, what do I do? Can I get some assistance? And he'd always find a way to fit you in or come help you out with whatever you need.
What I will miss most about H1 is just the atmosphere every time I go there, which has been few and far between since I started my new job. But the atmosphere and just both of them actually, you know, just working together.
All the time spent there, just being able to have a place to go and kind of unwind, as crazy as it sounds, because he's always, you know, cranking, doing stuff, but being as close to Eladio as I am, I feel like I can go, and it's a sanctuary for me because I'm used to being in the shop, and it's just such a personal vibe that I get when I'm there. It's easy to be there. Even when I'm working with him, it doesn't feel like work.
H1 is more than a company. It, you know, between the mom and Eladio, they were family, absolute family. I can't imagine not being able to drive down there and just sit down on the couch and just make fun of them together and then leave, and you know, everything's cool and we talk, and we're gonna miss them. And the mom, come back, Mom. So.
the family, the friendships, the weekend bond we forged with all our guys. Bringing Max to the shop once in a while. Mom's just love and care, fun. Weekend trips to Cali for car shows or the racetrack. Just being in that family vibe. It really is one of the greatest places. We love you, Eladio.
I know I can go to H1 and they're never gonna recommend me putting something on the car that I don't need or an upgrade that I don't need. You know, just the guidance.
You know, Eladio's a friend. He's more than just a mechanic. My God, he gives you a shirt off his back.
I'm not sure I'll miss very much because Eladio's indicated that he's not planning on going very far. And I know he wants to keep working with Thomas and work on the car. So I may wind up seeing more of him than I'm seeing right now.
Like he was professional, but still had like a jolly kind of personality where you could joke around a little bit, but he got the job done.
Words can't describe, because he's built such kind of a dynasty for what he's done. I mean, it's going to be impossible to replace him.
Thank you, H1 Performance.
Thank you, H1.
Thank you, H1.
Thank you, H1.
Thank you, H1.
Thank you, H1 Performance.
Thank you, H1.
Thank you, H1 Performance.
Thank you, H1 Performance.
Thank you, H1.
Thank you, H1 Performance.
Thank you, H1 Performance.
Thank you, H1.
Thank you, H1 Performance.
Thank you, H1 Performance.
Thank you, H1 Performance.
Thank you, H1.
Thank you, H1 Performance.
Thank you, H1 Performance.
Thank you, H1 Performance.
Thank you, H1. Thank you, H1 Performance.
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 Thank you, H1.
Thank you, H1.
Thank you, H1 Performance.
Thank you, H1 Performance.